Monster kill!
The battle begins.
Get a good game.
I also think this Nyx Assassin can pose kind of an issue for the entity support, so it's on this Skywrath mage to be the one to deal with it later on, to silence it before it carapaces, maybe build that Atos even though you're playing with an Elsie, and try to kill it at the start of the fight, and then your Oracle kind of has leeway to play without this Nyx constantly disabling it. So I think entity can win this game. Their draft just seems harder to pull off, and I honestly can't believe Fnatic ran back every single hero.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to see if this is either a genius maneuver or the most stubborn thing that Fnatic has ever done in our first game, number 3 ESL 1 Malaysia 2022 main stage with Cap and SVG.
That's right. A bit of a twist. Just run it back, says Fnatic. We just owned game 2, and we're going to do it again in game 3. Meanwhile, Entity, I mean, they were so quick on their response. They knew exactly what they wanted. They're confident the Ursa is the answer.
Well, they knew because they've seen it before.
Why not? It was easy to plan for.
Yeah. They get a little different of a carry. I think Ursa's way better than Pudge in this type of scenario. The thing I'm still worried about is, I feel like one of the cruxes of that game was this undying team fight. They didn't have answers for this Tombstone, and I'm not sure it's much better off this game. It's shifting even more pressure to Pure to be able to win his lane versus Razor and accelerate the game with Roshan and deal with the Tombstone and deal with the Alchemist.
That already feels like a lot of things he's going to have to do all on his own. He was given a good last pick, but the question is whether or not Entity's going to be able to enable that, because we already know Fnatic, well, they can make their draft work.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a practice run.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They kind of know what their draft's designed to do. They know how to run it.
I mean, it was a good run-up.
You'll take those every time.
It's Genting. I know all of you guys are going to be backing Fnatic, but what about some excitement for just a hype close game 3 between Fnatic and Entity? Let's go. Could be going late in tonight for this one, so the players are going to need your energy for this. We're going to start off both sides. Full 5-man smokes as they work their way across the map, try and get down, position themselves for maybe a first blood. Bounties. All around, do you feel like Entity did a much better job answering this draft in game 3? I mean, they had to have, right? You already like the Ursa more.
I like the Ursa a lot more. I think Legion can pose a decent threat in this game. Depends how the fights go and who's ahead. Like, if Entity fall behind again, it seems really hard to just jump into this undying Batrider Razor Ball for this Legion. You're going into spells that are going to turn the fight around quickly. I think it's a bit of this Oracle versus Undying matchup too. Like, Oracle wants to prolong the fight, keep his cores alive, and at the same time, Fnatic's kind of happy to take that sort of engagement. To me, this game is really going to come down to the team fights, and perhaps putting them in a position to win those is going to be the lanes again. I feel like the lanes in game 1 and 2 were super important for both sides. Is Fnatic going to just crush this Razor Nyx lane again? Is this Alk going to free farm for the second time? They saw it the first time. Seems less likely considering they have much stronger side lanes here for Entity.
Yeah, Skywrath Mage has got to be a better answer to this Undying in lane. Plus, they've got on the other side, like Ursa at least has some better capabilities. Still don't think it's going to be a fun lane for him, and perhaps Entity feel like it's best to dodge.
Yeah, so it's Storm Legion. He's going mid versus the Bat.
Yep.
Gonna try and throw this Pango versus the Razor where he can displace the Link with Swashbuckle, kind of an old school matchup, and then Ursa versus Alk. A favorable lane matchup in theory though. Alk in the safe lane with an Undying. It's gonna be a tough one for Pure, I think, over the long run. Still, Entity playing some lane swapperoos and theory getting very good matchups for what their lineup wants to do.
Super interested to see how this mid lane goes. Whether or not Armel can ever get an opening against Stormer, who does have obviously this big cleanse against the sticky napalm stacks.
I don't think this matchup's that good in theory though, because you have the new napalm damage. So okay, you clear the stacks, but the stacks already did a tremendous amount of damage to you.
Sure.
Like even the level 3 double napalm, I can really see Stormer just feeding on this lane.
That was just before Pure gets around the corner there. Drops the unstable concoction on him. That's the thing about Alchemist. He is not like helpless in lane. Between Acid Spray and Unstable Concoction, he actually does fight pretty damn well.
Oh, he's strong, and that's why I think this lane is not an easy lane for Entity to play. Sure, you have Skywrath versus Undying, but you're putting your melee carry in the off lane. It's just tough, especially if Fnatic can keep the lane back at least a little bit. Lucky for Pure, they got it back, they shoved it in pretty fast.
Look at that, Pure
careful
just being
here.
chased away from Unstable Concoctions. Lost sight of Pure. So wasn't able to put the pressure there, but throws it over.
I mean, they can drop level 2 Tombstone. They really want to.
Yeah, I mean, with the
Soul
creep wave
Rips.
pushing in under tower, it may not be a bad idea to pressure, but as you said, Soul Ripping.
They're going to play for the out farm. He took the Greevil's Greed. There was maybe some aggressive potential there, though, with some spray Tombstone drop. Could have been interesting. I don't blame them just playing for the Alk farm. That last game was so smooth for them.
Yeah. How's our top lane going? Well, it seems going very well. 9-3 for Jabs, so he's getting all the CS out of this lane, but Toby's good job. No denies for him. To be expected.
But you know who's getting denies in this game? Stormstormer. 7-7 versus 3-2 on mid.
Oh, man.
Armel, maybe king of the one-on-one, but he is not winning this one by any means. This is a struggle for him. Barely inching his way to bottle. Finally comes out. He's completely devoid of resources, so a lane I thought might have been harder for Legion with the new Napalm. He's just getting smacked.
Yeah, I would have felt like, yeah, I mean, he was getting so many sticky napalm stacks on the creeps that I thought he would have been able to secure the CS just fine, but no, apparently the Legion commander just too strong. I mean, when you're able to use that passive appropriately to be able to like put pressure into, oh man, 3 HP or something like that. Instead, it's going to be First Blood going over to Kataomi.
Not that time. Pure playing this lane to the limits. Very difficult lane. Skirts out, gets the first blood. A huge swing for them. Now they're taking it to Palo's bottom as well.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. The Undying is going to TP in after the Unstable Concoction. He'll get a lot of damage on a Pure, but not quite enough, again, to get the kill.
Sal cancel.
Uh-oh, Toby.
Link.
He's got one swashbuckle to use here to get away from Jabs. Jabs doesn't actually worry about trying to chase him down. I think he's
Palos.
just okay with zoning him. Palos gets chased down by Pure, trades his life away underneath the tower, but well worth it to kick this Alchemist out of lane with a big creep wave under tower.
Huge wins on these lanes for Entity early on. Remember, last game, this was a lineup that Fnatic won 3 lanes with CS handedly, and Jabs was already 4-0 at this point. Now they're skirting out of this Razor lane. Pango, sure, he's not winning it, but it's an off-lane Pango. He's fine to just get levels, get whatever he can. He's doing pretty decent anyway.
Yeah.
Mid is an absolute stomp by this Legion, and now Palos feeling the pressure. Pure just destroying this lane that is, in my opinion, a very difficult one.
Fishman cuts his way through the trees, very smart. Shield Crash going to be used to slow him down, but actually puts Toby in kind of an awkward position. Pops a couple of shots.
I don't think I've ever seen a man plant more trees in my life.
Fishman. Now he's out on land.
A loss so small.
That's how it works. Take him out of the ocean.
Notice.
Comes an arborist.
Armel's going to start cutting creeps. That's how rough this lane is going for. Probably for the best.
He gave up a long time ago, to be honest.
Oh, that was a bit of an awkward miss there from DJ.
The upside for Armel is, I mean, he's a bad rider. He's maxing Firefly. He can come back in this game. He can farm stacks, potentially farm more than this Legion. To me, it's going to be a question of what does Stormstormer want to do with the lead he's built off this laning phase? What is he going to transfer it into? Here's
Dropped
that
a defensive tombstone. So they were trying to go on him, but Palos right after
another
that stable
cussing.
concoctions used, they're just going to go for it. Now, again, fighting into the tombstone, so Entity a little bit careful about that one. Jab's taking a lot of damage. Toby, can he finish him off with this swipe? It wasn't quite enough. A second one might do it, and it does. Secures the kill, even putting a little bit of damage onto DJ as well.
Very nice kill for Toby. Anytime you can kill this Razor in the laning phase, you feel great about it. Not the start that Jabs had last time.
Well,
Testing the rune, 6 minutes. Not want to give it to Armel, especially with the level lead Stormstormer has. He has duel already.
you get the duel out. See if they've got the damage. It looks pretty clean. Fishman doesn't even need another round of Purifying Flames. The first duel victory for Stormstormer.
Very big. The rune taken away from the Bat Rider. He's just sent to the fountain. Stormstormer is going to get pushed up to level 7 here. Dual damage online. 7-9. Incredible game on this Legion Command.
Complete 180 from game 2, right? I mean, this is Entity actually winning all of their lanes now. And maybe that Razor lane is still going fine. Actually, no. The Pango has way more CS. Damn.
And he just taking him to school here in the laning phase. Now Armel trying to make Slane happen bottom. He's only level 5 though. I don't think they're gonna get much here.
They dropped the tombstone, desperation to get any kill off of a mid lane rotation like this. And they will eventually get it. It looks like no, maybe the one charges, he's still up. Oh no, 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 Fnatic. It is kind of falling apart now. They do manage to zone out Entity from a creep wave.
Stormstormer smoking down.
It connects here. If he gets another big duel win, this could be the start of a snowball that
He wants
could
the bat.
rapidly turn into an avalanche. He just has to content himself with an undying, and he will. See if he gets the duel win or not. It's close, but Pure ensures it.
Winner, winner.
Oh, Zar is still around here. Now, he does have Firefly. He'll start flying away, no problem.
Top. Swashbuckle away. This is a very different last time. The upside for Entity here is the early start means a lot for Pure because this is a hero that wants to accelerate very fast that mid game off the back of a Roshan, whereas if he's behind, the Roshan contest is very difficult into a dying Bat Rider. If he's ahead with the Legion save behind him, the Oracle save behind him, he can go in this pit pretty early and feel confident to do it.
Yeah, that last game was hard enough when he was just playing against an Oracle and getting good lassos, but against a separate cleanse as well.
Oh yeah. And this Legion can scale a lot harder than the previous patches. I'm going to be curious if he takes this bonus dual damage at 10.
And whether or not he gets the shard that's been upgraded a couple times at this point.
He can become an absolute beast of a man fighter.
Like, he's facing up against an Alchemist and a Razor, heavy physical damage and armor. All the more reason to get that shard.
Thinking about Blade Mail as well. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Fishman poking his head in the jungle. Gets the tombstone drop at least to probably pay the price.
Yeah, run as he can. It's still the zombies slow him down enough, but the rest of the team is in a decent position to at least corral one of these heroes. They're going to be able to catch the Undying, and it's going to be a third duel win for Stormer. The damage continues to grow. Toby, swashbuckle away, no problem.
30 dual damage at 9 minutes.
Scary.
Jim hit well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him think about this Blink Rush over the Blade Mail, just because he has so much damage already.
Yeah.
Feels like he can just feed off these supports. Even because he has the Skywrath mage too, any duel on the map, the Katayomi behind him is just going to convert to a kill instant. There are no saves on this Fnatic lineup.
Yeah, that's good. When you've got an Oracle and a Skywrath mage, I feel like you're extra incentivized to just blink in and start.
I think he's going to consider it here, and Jabs wants to defend this mid.
Palos is going to come in from the other side, but Palos is already low. The Chemical Rage is healing him up a little bit, though. Kind of dangerous. They do have Toby, who's going to come in. Rolling Thunder on out. Palos and Jabs both retreat. Jabs going to be the one hit by the Rolling Thunder, but underneath the tower, don't think Toby can do too much here. It gets Jabs a little bit low, but not enough to cure a kill anywhere.
You should run.
Still 5 heroes for Fnatic brought to this mid lane to defend a tower that wasn't really under threat. I mean, it's just Legion poking it. A lot of space for this Ursa. You went Orba Corrosion. Pure looking to be aggressive in this early game. Abuse the fact that they got out of these lanes in a very strong position. And
yeah, all those heroes rotated, and Stormstormer's still pressuring the tower.
Now he can pressure. ED Rune, he's just smacking it.
Try and catch him. Armel is going to go for the flame break into the lasso. Oh, he doesn't have flame break. He's just going to have to go for the lasso. And Fishman maybe too far away.
No Oracle.
He doesn't have his ultimate, so yeah, he runs all that distance. But for what, Fishman? You could have never saved him in the first place. You didn't have the ability to do so.
Run down. Overextension here from Stormstormer for sure. Maybe just miscommunication. Thought they had Oracle ult or thought he would survive a little bit longer to get Fate's Edicted. Either way, that's a big kill and a big streak to feed away.
Kind of awkward. Palos stuns himself, pings out that there's definitely a ward there. Toby wouldn't back off. Oracle's going to TP in, so maybe they're going to bait. No, they're going to go for the kill. DJ, see if he can get here in time to be able to bail out Palos. Yeah, Fishman's actually
they're just turning
drops
him.
Sentry. They're going to turn and kill the Nyx Assassin instead. Fair enough. Stormer.
This is a lot of
Is he in trouble? Okay, Jabs doesn't want to dive a tier 1 tower. Maybe if it was a tier 2 side lane tower, he'd go for it, but apparently calls it quit, dives.
Jay pinging this Ursa bottom. Pure has just done a decent job of pressuring this tower with the Orb of Corrosion, basically taking it all the way down. I don't think Fnatic's going to defend this. He has been the biggest beneficiary of all the space. Well, DJ, tested. Maybe going to try and bait him on the last hit. Do have bots on Armel, and he just picked up an Arcane Rune. Alright, Fnatic, they have some tower defense. Might be able to bait this Ursa in.
We'll see whether or not it takes that bait.
A stalled map for Fnatic is good right now. They have the Alk going to town with the Grievel's Greed. Again, this lineup, like last game, is not going to take super early objectives, so a stalemate probably favors them for the short time being. And that huge momentum that this Legion commander had out of mid, now he's kind of just stuck jungling, trying to get to his blink. Feels like the fire going out of the engine a little bit here for Entity. They're going to have to pick and choose their fights a little more smartly.
See if he's able to rekindle that flame with the Blink Dagger once completes. In the meantime, though, I mean, this has got to be a game where Entity they have to really focus on getting Roshan, right? I mean, it's an Ursa lineup. Every Ursa lineup wants early Roshan.
Yes, and their mechanism to do that is the pickoff. It is this Legion Blink into the Skywrath nukes. Ideally take down a core hero, force Fnatic into a numbers position.
Setup hits the Impale. That'll
This is
ensure that the lasso will
want.
chain it, and no chance at an in-range. A big pick-off for Fnatic. Which Pure, I mean, he never got baited into going for the tower, but they still got him.
I mean, he's just stuck down here, though, right? The fact that DJ is able to defend this, now he's up to level 8. He got so much out of this bottom lane. Feels like Entity should have kicked this Nyx out of here and opened up the space, prevented this death. Instead, they get to use the bat bots. DJ will deny the tower. Insult to injury.
Toby will try and punish him for it, but the Impale strikes him first. If Fishman was close enough to be able to land the Fortune's End, then maybe, but he's not.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Stormer, there's the blink. Here comes the Skywrath Mage, Legion Commander, 1-2 punch that would be sure to knock anybody out.
Has to connect, though. Every time they do one of these plays, they commit so much. They're taking so much time off the map. Legion's not farming. Skywrath is not pressuring a lane. They'll get some vision. They're not finding anything. Fnatic happy to be defensive for the moment. Perhaps reading this play. Entity collapsing mid with 5 heroes, double damage on Pure.
This could be dangerous for Fnatic. They're going to be able to catch Jabs first.
He's the tankiest hero.
But they really don't want to go for him, apparently. And he spots him with the plasma field. Disaster for Entity as now Stormer, no longer having his blink, is going to be caught by... Oh, no! Toby rolls through, does manage to get the kill on Jabs, but it's a 1-for-1 trade-off so far. Januel's going to be able to catch up the Fishman, start slowing him down. Armel wants to be able to collect on this kill, but doesn't want to overextend. Good thing, too. Pure, he's got a double damage. Nice 2-man stun. The flame break. Pure's actually taken a lot here. He still has the enrage, though. Not a huge amount of nuking threat to scare him off.
Fuzzy Wuzzy finding nobody to play with. Double damage to waste. He's rushing Basher, Cap. This is very unconventional Ursa build. Normally you're going Mass Diffusal or Battle Fury to either keep up the farm rate or try and pressure the Roshan. Basher rush is just... This is a chat build.
Oh, they get the lasso immediately after. They actually went for the duel, so no cleanse out on the Ursa. The Ursa will turn around and finish off Armel, but he's going to take a lot of damage. The Enrage shrugs off most of it. Now they've got the Magic Immunity out onto him as well. Fishman may end up falling for Jabs, but Jabs will turn and die. Januel is not going to be able to make it out either. Entity, what a turn from them. 3-man stun from DJ. Did that just save Fnatic's 5? No, a blink in from Toby and Pure will finish the job.
Alchemist not ready to come to this
look at
tournament.
DJ, he sees a free victim of a vendetta.
Still has Carapace and
Is he
Impale.
gonna get out though? Turns around, Impale misses that one. Toby's gonna roll up. Nice shield crash over the high ground, catches DJ. And look at that, a nice little stack available as well.
Pure's gonna clip himself and have to TP out.
Oh, part of the fun there. Really overextending there on committing to an Ursa that was not only going to be saved by the false promise, but also the enrage.
I mean, this is also conceptually the worst type of fight for Fnatic. They're fighting in a way where their Undying can't get there with his ult and Tombstone, their best team fight spells.
Yeah.
Alk is not ready to fight yet. He did not have his Radiance online, or if he did, unable to get there. Overextending into that Oracle save lets the Ursa turn around, and yeah, now they're straight into the pit off the back of those cooldowns being down for Fnatic. This is going to be Aegis for Ursa. with, again, the Basher build. Hyper-aggressive itemization here. Basher, Aegis, and the Blink. He wants to run at Fnatic and just slay them.
Yeah, you could see he already tried to run at them and instead hit his head on that wall, but we're still gonna go for it here. Do have Armel cutting creeps in this top lane. Let's see if he gets caught. Stormstormer wanted to be able to Blink duel him. Blink cooldown though.
This is the period in the game where Fnatic probably want to dodge the fights a little bit. Get to their Razor BKB, get to their Alk BKB. Perhaps some more tank ability on Armel. He did go Blink first, probably trying to find the Oracle in the fights, especially since Legion wants to be the aggressor. Probably use press the attack and just Blink in. EJ scouting can be invaluable during this time period if he keeps track of the heroes for Entity, especially the pickoff between Legion and Sky. His cores feel safe.
Are they thinking that maybe they could
They're
pick off
thinking about it
here?
He has a sentry now.
This is a very bold move, but if they've read the map correctly,
Entity are baiting this. This could be absolute disaster.
Get the next assassin instead. That sentry laid out in place allowed Entity to respond.
Honestly, Fnatic might have got away lucky with that.
Yeah, seriously.
If they're going to commit for that kill, Entity are happy to turn that fight around and just take it. RJ might have bailed them out with the death. Still more dual damage for this Legion, who did take that damage talent. Up to 50 now.
Grab the Skywrath Mage. It's the small, simple pickoffs. That's what Fnatic got to focus on here.
Too.
A little haste rune action. This Jab's gonna run into him. Oh yeah, he is. Pure was just sitting on the high ground, and the Basher goes to work. Bye-bye, Jabs. 530 gold for that kill, too.
Shredded him. Basher's pretty nice this game. Talking about heroes for Fnatic that want to abuse a BKB timing to be able to take the fight into limited control. Well, suddenly, Ursa's just smacking you in the face, stopping you in your tracks.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea. Especially since he's just keeping up in farm. They're just taking over the map. Not a lot of room for this Alk to grow. It's only like 1,500 behind with better fighting items.
Entity doing to keep up the pace. We're gonna sweep down to bottom. Looks like it's no longer Fnatic's not. Got a bit of time with its Aegis as well, so love to be able to take another.
Armel's just trying to play keep away on these side lanes, and he went Blink 4-staff here. Very different build than last game where he was arguably playing to scale with BKB Octarine type formation. This tells me that Fnatic wants to try and fight.
This could get really awkward. If Entity is going to try and force fights around tier 2s, this haste rune of the Bat Rider could pull this team fight way out of Entity's position.
If you pull this Ursa into a tombstone, sure, he respawns. You're still happy, though.
Start off with the Rolling Thunder immediately with the chain jump. They're going to finish off the Alchemist nice and quick and clean, or maybe not. The Chemical Rage. Pure finishes them off in the end. They do manage to get that one. The Oracle died at the same time, and Pure's going to lose his Aegis, but not before he does a ton of damage to Jabs.
He's
nice lane break backwards, and it looks like Jabs, he's going to win the duel. Ursa's going to come back surrounded by 4 heroes. What are you going to do with the Basher, son?
Bashing absolutely nobody. Tombstone doing a mad amount of work there, and Armel still has haste rune.
Oh, and even better than a high five, it's a lasso.
Basically a team wipe for Entity, losing 5 because Ursa dies twice there. Aggressive build not paying off in that instance. Like you said, getting caught deep under this tier 2, the tower pummeling him, the tombstone way in the back, no clear.
Nice kill, nice kill. Big
Jabs
pickup.
getting turned around on.
Entity, it was a bad fight for them, but at least they get Jabs on the tail end of it.
That's a huge amount of momentum gone for Entity here. So much going for them. This is not a lineup they can afford to throw too many fights away, because the 5-on-5 pretty much only becomes harder as the game goes on.
I mean, the chain stun was perfect, but didn't this Alchemist live like just that extra bit from the soul repeal? And Pure just basically, you know, had to sit around doing not much but finishing off that Alchemist. Maybe if they finished off this Razor, it could have been okay, but that flame break pushback prevented the Legion from doing anything.
The duel is happening when the Ursa's dead and respawning, so he doesn't get the hit to it. Fishman has to overextend there. This is the downside of fighting in the tier 2. DJ just finds him on the side. Deletes that Oracle from the fight, the one hero that can maybe prolong Ursa's life.
And we've seen like so many teams have been way more disciplined about that first Aegis timing. I feel like many of them, like oftentimes, don't even try and approach a tier.
Yeah,
they just kind of like hope to control the map, and it's usually really the second and third Roshan where you start cleaning up the bigger objective.
It's just a hard fight. You're just diving deep, you're exposing your backline, and Enemy's backline is so important in this game. It's a lot of their damage, a lot of their save.
You feel like some of this is the pressure, a game 3 in a main stage in front of an audience against an Alchemist. You always feel like that ticking time bomb.
Evil's Greed, the best clock you can get.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick. Net worth's going up. Your chances might be going down. Again, I almost feel like this enemy lineup is watching the draft. It's a little awkward for them because I feel like their strength is in the ball, in the 5-man, when that cement sledge hits you with their Wyverns, their Sven, these Aura lineups with the sustain. This lineup is more single target focused, right? You have Oracle Sky supports with a Legion, Blink, and Dueling and Ursa follow-up. Sure, you have some Pango rolling around, but Fnatic don't care about it with BKBs. It might be a little of an unconventional lineup for them, and one where they mess up a couple of fights. It's super punishing. Their supports cannot shove waves. Their supports cannot farm camps. They're dependent on snowballing the game here, getting the kills. One or two more fights here could be disastrous.
No, he's here, but so does DJ. He knows Katomi's there.
Easy stun.
Catches him with a Blink Impale, a pick-off that'll let Fnatic take back the Radiant jungle now.
And another D-Ward probably. Vision is so precious for Entity in this game. Again, a pick-off focus lineup. Pick off what you don't see.
I shall not report.
Oh, wow. Look at all those wards destroyed. 13?
That cannot be all ops.
That's got to be a lot of centuries he found. 27 wards placed. This man has committed his entire net worth to go and look at it. He's just got tranquil boots and a fluffy hat. Maybe he'll be able to get a Force Staff, as he does have 1,300 gold in the bank right now.
If that's actually 12 ops killed, that's a game win on its own. Like,
that's pretty much every ops in the game, I feel like. Well, this game, I feel there's a big timing coming in for Fnatic with an AC against a Legion Commander Ursa. The whole threat was him being bursted down by physical damage. The AC is going to do wonders installing that out.
Not only AC, he had this early Halberd. Not a second item we see on Alkalok, but I really like it this game. He has the Razor and Bat to deal damage, not to mention the Undying. All Palos has to do is stay alive. If Entity can't burst him, feels like the fight's lost for sure. I like this itemization. They don't need a lot of damage right now. They just need survivability. You can build the damage later.
Oh, Toby, perfect timing. Doesn't quite hit the right blink dagger, though. Spots him a little bit too late. The TP completes. DJ gets away.
How many times have we seen that this series? My God, man. DJ in these tree lines, I would just give up at this point. Just let him go.
Yeah, just catch and release. Don't even
try.
try.
To do his highlight reel, you know?
You're not going to be able to reel that fish in.
All right, this is the BKB for Ursa. This is where Entity need to strike back here. And all right, we'll give him a little, you know, relive some of the moments here.
That blink dagger was super unfortunate.
You cannot get closer than this. You really can. Meanwhile, DJ
back inside the game. They jumped onto Jabs. They managed to get the duel out onto him. The Razor's pretty tanky though, with the Soul Rip coming out as well. Jabs doesn't go down so easy. They do manage to get a bash out, but he's still alive through all of it. It looks like between the disarms, the lassos, they can't finish the job. Pure has been pulled off, cold off, and now they're going to be able to chase him down. As Pure, no in range, no save. They're going to use the unstable concoction right on top of him. They immediately cleanse that. Pure turns around, does a little bit of damage where he can, but Armel slows him down. Flame break backwards, and he ticks on out. Katomi gonna be chased down as well. Fnatic, a massive victory, a 1-for-4 exchange.
Humongous team fight win. This is right before Roshan is spawning. This is the fight Entity needed to win with Ursa BKB to try and even secure it. Instead, Jabs just way too tanky. Had a Halberd of his own. Double Halberd. Radiance evasion on top of it. No one is killing this 2600 HP Razor with the Soul Rips on top. And of course, high ground Tombstone the entire time.
Oh no, you gotta be feeling bad for Entity now. Just simply the fact that not only are they just losing that fight, but the second Roshan, which I feel like is so crucial for an Ursa because he uses the Shard so well, and obviously he's a hero that is so reliant on Aegis.
He needs the Shard this game. Playing versus Bat, he's playing versus Nyx. He needs to be able to hit people in the limited duration he can before Halberds come out, before some lasso grabs him.
Look at that, he actually grabbed the shard for himself on Palos, so he's got the Berserk potion.
He can throw it on someone who gets dueled. It's some extra HP. He can throw it on himself, jump a backline support.
Maybe save somebody from the silence of the Skywrath Mage.
Absolutely. this game is insanely favored for Fnatic now. I feel like that was the one fight Entity had to win to have a good chance in this game. Probably 90% win probability only. That would be my guess. No, that net worth is not high. All right, it's heading up. It's heading.
Well, I won't give you that. You're way too off the mark on that one.
Well, we'll see. We'll check back and you're checking back until it's up there.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower.
Entity, they're not so far out of it as Avery says, and well, there's a reason this team got major. Now they've got their carry in Pure. They still have a fighting chance here against Fnatic, but not only is the net worth against them, the win percentage against them,
Dire's top tower.
crowd is very excited at the prospect of a Fnatic victory. Pure to show himself because he's got the BKB. Actually, decent idea to let Fnatic try and initiate on him because there's so many responses. But look what's happening at the top lane.
Yeah, why
initiate
when you can just take their base?
And look at DJ. He's trying to cut him off.
Scouting them all. He might get a crazy initiation
He's
here.
breaking all the smokes right now. They try and get the initiation, but then
He got the Carapace.
he gets the spike Carapace, the turnaround, and now, oh no, the Razor Jats gets off the BKB. Stormstormer is taking too much damage, turns around. What is he gonna do? Not gonna duel, that's for sure.
buyback.
Pure, they're gonna be able to get the Chainsaw out of the Razor. Jats are gonna fall. They can turn out of Palos now.
Pure
Can
still
he
has
get the
ult.
bashes to be able to stay on top? Pure, he's not sure what to do here. They're gonna go back in with
Is
the duel.
that
They're gonna go for the
target the
Undying,
duel?
but what is done for DJ? A 3-man stun, setting it up. The Undying falls, but Palos is still in fighting shape. They do manage to get the pullback lasso onto this Oracle, but all of Entity, they're limping away. Little HP, but they still survive.
back in.
And now Pure's back in. He smells the blood in the water. With the Alchemist coming back, see what they can do to him. He doesn't have the BKB. He doesn't have a way to stop all this kiting. He turns around, does manage to get a bash. Another stun from DJ! What a save for the false promise, though. Pure is still alive. Pure, he has to fight his way out of this one, but there's no chance in hell the false
blink.
promise is going to wear out. He's just dead. The damage does its trick. The stun, another one goes out.
Another blink
Hatomi's
stun.
trying to run back into the tier 3s, but DJ, ever the hunter, ever the killer, slaying Entity one by one.
Somebody just got a goddamn rampage through impales in that fight. Adam up 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a Nyx stun so many heroes consecutively. The dream fight for Fnatic. They're abusing Aegis to the maximum. Pure just has too much HP to fight through, even with this Legion buyback. Yeah, the saves are there, but the stuns are just better. DJ hailing them into another series victory potentially here.
Yeah, with one lane of barracks down and a second perhaps on its way. Let's watch that fight again.
This cannot be the best dual target, right? I mean,
No.
I understand you gotta get what you can get, but Undying's happy to take those spells up.
Look at
and
this
these
false promise from
impales.
Fishman. It was beautiful timing,
was
but
beautiful.
still, it's not good enough to undo DJ's impales. The damage was too great.
This Nyx pick is just carrying these fights right now. The itemization from Fnatic with the disarms, the Abyssal on Palos, making Pure's life miserable.
They're going to need a change on him here for the Gold Scepter. Oh, that puts the Ursa out of condition straight up into an impale stun, so they don't get a whole lot of damage during this Rolling Thunder. Stormstormer chases down, but all of a sudden, oh no, they're turning around. They do have the false promise, but Jazz, he's draining him of all his damage, and he's going to turn it back onto Pure. Pure, oh no, he's being dragged away. He wanted to be able to kill the Razor. Turns on to DJ. That pesky Nyx assassin will finally die, but a buyback. He's going to be back in the fight soon. Toby trying to run away from Jazz. Will manage to swat himself out, but the Pure TP out and does it again. This is a TP god. He gets out just in the nick of time in a situation where it is absolutely darkest for Entity. One more death on Pure could have been the end of the game.
Pure teleport scrolls, probably the best in the world after this series. The Fountain is your best friend at this point. Entity trying to bait the deep dives from Fnatic. This is where their lineup can thrive if Fnatic overextend. Again, Palos does not have BKB. He opted to just go this tanky build, this fighter build. He's not dying. At the same time, he can get controlled and chain stun in the fight. And Stormstormer was looking for that duel. He wanted it. He could taste it and just out of reach. Could have been a very different fight if he got it off. Now we're looking at a potentially another high ground attempt from Fnatic here. This Alchemist front line, absolutely devastating to try and go on. He has Elven Tunic, he has Radiant.
Nice response, DJ, instantly. Uplink Skyrim pace into an impale, into Palos with the Abyssal Babe. Bye-bye, Toby. He does have a buyback. And they've got all their abilities except for the false promise. Still needs a little bit of time there.
DJ feeling the crowd behind him right now. Is hitting every single stun for this team.
They're gonna find the
There's the
opening
duel.
chance. They go for it, but the Soul Rip is
It's a
not
lot
gonna be
of
enough
burn.
deals. They need a little bit more damage. The dual win isn't quite there. Jazz, he's actually gonna be walking away from this. Stormstormer goes down. Here, he managed to get the kill on the Undying, but he's gotta walk away from the static plate. They do manage to get the Rolling Thunder. Chain setting up this Razor. You can see Jazz. Oh man, he just doesn't give a
Tombstone's
damn. He's
out.
sticking around through all of this one. Palos, they're gonna ignore him for now. Go back
Another
to the Razor. The
impale.
force tap straight into the hand clutches up here. The Yule Scepter wasn't in time. Toby swashbuckle up in a second. Denied by the Abyssal Blade. They managed to turn it around.
He has
Let's table
ultimate one.
auction. Lasso into the chain
Not
stun
gonna
on the Pure.
matter.
That is it. Fnatic. They got crushed in game 1, but run it back. Game 2, same draft. Game 3 against Sanity, and they will keep Southeast Asia's hopes alive.